Welcome back. You're watching the Power Breakfast Show. Now, this morning, I want to talk about matters education, and to be more specific, the reforms that were announced by the Cabinet Secretary for Education, Fred Matiang'i, on the Kenya National Examination Council. So that's what we're going to be discussing. And in studio, we're joined by Mr. Sossion. He's the Secretary General of the Kenya National Union of Teachers. We want you to be part and parcel of this show. 22422 is the SMS line, or you can get us on Twitter. The hashtag is Power Breakfast. We'd love to hear from you, so get communicated. For now, I hand you over to Mr. Njau. Mr. Njau?
Welcome. Thank you, Kirigo. Welcome, Bona Sossion.
Yeah, thank you.
I got to understand that you recently got married. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
Was that your first or second marriage?
Second.
Second?
Yeah.
You just came from honeymoon?
Fresh from honeymoon, and it's over. It's
yeah, because people are saying you're lost. You're nowhere to be seen.
And I've taken a little break.
Anyway, let's go to serious business. According to today's press, I've seen that you have written to the Cabinet Secretary for Education, Mr. Matiang'i, concerned about the reforms he is trying to introduce in the examination sector. What are your main objections?
Yeah, thank you. It's on one specific area, of course. Education sector is undergoing reforms that we understand. We support many of the reforms, and we are the key proponents of constructive reforms. But we've raised strong reservations and concerns over the Kenya National Examinations reforms. Whereas we support, and we have supported the minister all through, to undertake reforms, we think there should be a very careful balance of the decisions being undertaken, because some of them can be very dangerous and can have a lot of ramifications in the entire education system. And our key concern is the school calendar, which was released in January. You cannot change it too late in a day without extensive consultations. It's a calendar that we negotiated, and the change of the term dates that have been brought about by the minister has a lot of effect, both on the parents, both on the students, and on the teachers. And from the teachers' point of view, our key concern, and the resolution of the union, it's something we negotiated earlier on, is that the holidays, school holidays, should not be less than 3 weeks, for one good reason. It's government policy, it's a global policy that adults, including teachers, undergo continuous education. We have majority of our teachers, a huge percentage, who have spent their resources to enroll in programs and courses within Kenyan universities and outside universities, a big number in Uganda. And such period is about 3 weeks. The calendar is known to the universities. The programs have been set to start on 6th of August. And therefore, when the Cabinet Secretary comes out and reduces it to 2 weeks, and what it automatically means is that teachers will not undertake these studies in the month of August. They will lose their money, they will lose the programs, and the country will lose new skills that should have been acquired by teachers. So in our own view, we support certain aspects of the reforms, but the calendar has to be well thought out. Secondly,
does that mean that the Cabinet Secretary did not involve you in changing the calendar?
Consultation of reforms of that huge magnitude should allow sufficient time and wide consultation. Indeed, my representation was in the meeting, that I don't deny. But such a report must be served on us. Even if it is served on me as the Secretary General, and the matter is so weighty, I must refer it to other organs of the Union. So I don't think in the traditional practices of the Union we have taken any position on this. We are still yet to consult further within our organ to see whether it's viable. But I can honestly tell you, from where I sit, it is not acceptable to teachers, because we've already received feedbacks and reaction from teachers and heads of schools that this was not well consulted. If you invite Mr. Sossion alone and he accepts something that will not be acceptable to teachers, that will not work, then that is not a good decision. That is why we are saying...
But then you should blame your representative who was in the meeting.
No. I can't blame my representative. I cannot. The thing is, what we are saying at this point is that this is a process. Parents are already complaining, the churches are complaining, there are many groups, members of parliament, because certain aspects requires legislation. So from the analysis of the events that went on, this is a process that the minister must remain open to the wider views of Kenya. I cannot blame any person who was in that meeting, but we are saying, hey, look here, you've done fairly well to some level, but here are some of the views of the rest of us, of the rest of Kenyans.
I found that Professor Makoha, who is in the charge of the examination council, is agreeing with the minister.
No, Magoha is in charge of the exam council. Yes. We have no problem, and we are not raising issues with Magoha. We are not. We've raised a number of issues. The teachers' concerns, and let me quickly point out other issues.
Yeah.
If you are telling students who are preset that the term is going to be longer, and remember, David Koech committee that went around the country to look at the causes of unrest in schools, identified student burnout as a key issue, too much pressure. And if you are extending the term too long, then you are courting reaction from students, and you might see some bit of resurgence of unrest in school. 1. 2, the midterm holidays is a recommendation of the same committee and has been enforced throughout all the terms. So for a small group to withdraw it from the third term, it means we are going against a recommendation that had been well researched and undertaken and implemented, and we might be taking back the sector back again to confusion. 3, when we send students home for a period of 2 months, we are not aware of any country in the world where students in ordinary schools, the basic education system, are left out of school for 2 months. It's very dangerous. There are a lot of negative effects on the curriculum itself, because you love to redo, to reteach, spend the whole 1 month reconstructing and repackaging what had been taught, because 2 months is too long a break. That's 1. 2, there are a lot of social effects to the learners. Remember, we are dealing with a lot of adolescents, and we are talking about retaining even majority of the girls in schools. How many girls will be affected and will even get pregnant by staying at home for far too long? Parents do not have capacity to contain and sustain active teenagers for a period of over 2 months. So my arguments and our arguments by most of us and teachers is that this calendar is not the problem of examinations cheating. We are urging the minister, focus on the causes of cheating. It is not the calendar. The cheating of examinations has been traced to the exam council. Continue undertaking reforms at NEC. That will support you 100%. Even if it means conducting psychometric tests on the staff and weeding out staff who are culpable. Continue doing it. We support you 100%. The examinations were stolen at the Amaris, and because we know too well, teachers are reporting that some of the bundles of examinations were opened when submitted to schools, but when you check, all the full papers are inside, and they were subjected to some bit of photo shooting for circulation through WhatsApp by the security people. So the 0 point that the minister should zero to is the security and the exam council. But you cannot tamper with the entire calendar. That will interfere with the parents, that will interfere with the students' programs, that will interfere with the teachers' programs, that will interfere with even other critical stakeholders like the churches. He should focus on the specifics, and that one he should count on our support 100%. But interfering with other aspects which are not relevant shall not be acceptable to us.
They have also proposed that the principals or headmasters be hired to be in charge of school examinations.
Center agent, that we support it.
Yeah.
Because in any case, the principals have undertaken the responsibility of procuring materials, organizing students, and administering that program. And that is one aspect that we support very strongly. But what we want is that the Exam Council Act, NEC Act, must be amended to customize that and support the principles so that that is in law. And that is why the CS should have consulted the committees of parliament of education so that that is done. That is one progressive step which we welcome among the reform measures.
The meetings of parents and during that term, the prayers and the argument is that when parents go visiting and when you have half term or during that time, when students interact with the parents and outsiders, people who come masquerading as parents, they are the ones who bring.
There is no evidence. There is no evidence. Absolutely. Most of us are parents. I'm sure you are a parent.
Yeah.
And I am. We've been parents. We've got these schools. These activities of third term are very historical because we must look at the origin. Why do we bring in parents during third term? Why do we have prayer sessions? That is a strong aspect of psychosocial support of the candidates so that they are settled during exams, they feel supported from their loved ones, and this is more of psychology. We cannot throw away the aspects of psychology in education, and this has been used by very good principals to create a very good atmosphere for examinations. And the church has done very well, and McHugh, a huge percentage of our schools are sponsored by the churches, and this has been done very well. It's part of a strong social aspect for schools, and these are events that students look forward to. They love that, and I don't think it has any correlation at all with cheating. Unless there is
I'm assuming that the cabinet secretary is assuming that during those meetings is when contraband material.
We don't work by assumptions. I don't think so. And there
should be possible that parents will bring phones. Will bring.
There is no evidence. Even if phones are brought, what of the scholars? Majority of the candidate students in the KCSE exams, because Kenya now runs day school. 70% of the candidates are day scholars, and they've been walking home and back during examination period. So you cannot contain and punish a few students in boarding. These contraband materials will still get their way to school. So we should find another alternative rather than interfering with the very social setting, the very practices that have been conducted very well by many schools. And in any case, this examinations cheating is traced to a few schools, and therefore you cannot ban a program that is run very strongly by very many schools. That is my view from where I come from, because in the past, why this psychosocial support has been brought about, students in the examination classes tend to run out of control. And look at the other side of the coin. In the absence of the rest of the students, in the absence of a regular, strong supervision measure, and that is when the rest of the school is closed, it might be increasingly difficult even to many of the candidates. It will be difficult to supervise and manage them. And these are the practices that have been brought out, that parents come around, that the guardians come around for specific programs, has been developed to control students. And this has worked very well to the extent that even some of the schools have candidates classes as the most disciplined and orderly during the month of third term because of courtesy of these programs. And when you remove them, you are telling us we go back to the old days where candidates during that third term engage in truant activities, engage in drinking, engage in all other bad social effects. And these are very dangerous. We don't need to take our education to that point. And that is why we are saying the reforms by Matiang'i should be handled with a lot of delicate balance, and he should listen to the emerging voices and other divergent views which are coming in. And that is why as a union we are telling Matiang'i very honestly, this is a weighty matter that has not even been adopted by the union. This is a matter that affects the labor rights of all the teachers from the teachers' point of view. But even if we are to look beyond the teachers, there are other voices who must also be heard.
There has been a disagreement between you and the minister about the number of teachers. The minister thinks that we don't have any shortage.
Wrong. You see,
he has gone through all the schools and found teachers not there, and he says...
What instrument? The minister is not an angel to go around all the 30,000 schools, whereas it is not even his business to supervise schools. He has a quality assurance department. He must concern himself in revamping the quality assurance, ensuring that there are personnel, there are resources, there are tools for them to work and visit schools, but not walking to schools with media and ambushing schools and trying to fault find. We welcome the minister in our schools, but he should do it more through the quality assurance. And on the aspect of starving, this is where he got it wrong. When a minister speaks, is the government speaking? We don't take the statements of a minister kindly. And when a minister speaks lies, it is dangerous. Our concern is that when he talks about teachers being enough, then it means what TSC has been talking about is a lie. And in this circumstance, these are facts. One, the Teacher Service Commission annual report, I'm quoting TSC, I'm not quoting KNUT, 2014-2015, puts the teacher shortage in the basic education sector in Kenya at 85,000. 85,000. It is a document that has not been amended, it's a document that is standing, it's a document that has been circulated to stakeholders, including ourselves and including Teacher Service Commission. So who is right? Is it the minister or the Teacher Service Commission? The minister is wrong, because last year and the other year we undertook a survey to analyze the cost of education, the school fees in this country, that was chaired by Dr. Kilemi Mwiria, and I refer the minister to page 14 of the report, which analyzes and indicates clearly that one key cost that raises school fees in our school system is the hiring of additional teachers through the Board of Management. And the number of teachers who are hired by the Board of Management in our school is 37%. These are government documents, documents within his own office. And being Dr. Matiang'i, I expect to be more appraised with very accurate data, and I think that is where he went wrong. And we wrote to him, that is what he called curriculum-based establishment, that is used to calculate the teacher requirement. You don't take a whole statistic of the global number of teachers against the global number of students. No, you use what he called curriculum-based establishment. It's a formula known to the ministry. And so that was a very misleading statement. And we also wrote to the minister to remind him and to take him through the CBE of primary, how the CBE has arrived at in the secondary school system and tertiary education system. CBE of primary is 2.5 teachers in one teacher in a class plus 2.5 times the number of classes in a district. That is the formula, and you'll get the number of teachers who are required. For secondary schools, it's 27 lessons per week per teacher, maximum, with a minimum of 22. That's how we arrived at. And the number of teachers in a school will be determined by the curriculum offered, the number of subjects in a secondary school. And for tertiary institution, teacher training colleges, and the rest, it is 15 hours per week per teacher. All that will determine and will give the shortage. It is what TSC has used, and we believe it is very authentic. And TSC has submitted a requisition of to hire 20,000 teachers annually to Parliament. And the statement by the minister undermines the efforts of the Teacher Service Commission. Who does the minister expect to come and implement the curriculum? And even the teacher absenteeism is talking about, and the visits is making to school and trying to expose certain things, when even schools have done their best to ensure that there are personnel additionally hired, even outside the budget, to run the school. Matiang'i should help us fix the gaps, but it should not cause more problems and give misleading statements. That one, Matiang'i has not denied that teachers are not enough. After I wrote, he has not replied, and the position remains the same. And we have sought concurrence with TSC, and TSC have confirmed that teacher shortage is at 85,000. What I'm saying in short is that we must be very careful with the public statements we make. They must be facts. It must stand the test of time. They must be truthful, especially when you are a representative of government.
There was a report yesterday in the press from the Institute of Economic Affairs, scandalous report about how teachers are handling pupils. One of the complaints in that report is that teachers are sending pupils to their homes or to their houses. Teachers are harassing and misusing pupils. Corporal punishment is there, although it is banned. That is not a minister's report. It is the Institute of Economic Affairs.
What has the minister done about it? What has the minister done about it?
What has the Kenya National Union of Teachers done about it?
That is what we call enforcement of standards. And this is where we breach our understanding. Who does the supervision of schools? It is not KNUT. That's not my work. And the data that has been presented, is it actual or is it factual? Who is this who has generated that report? We want a similar report from the minister, because the report about education, what we get from NGOs and the rest, those are we call academic general reports. But a legal report that stands the test of law is a report from the Quality Assurance and Standard. I challenge.
You don't recognize the organization?
No, the law doesn't recognize. The law doesn't.
You don't recognize.
It doesn't recognize. It doesn't. The Basic Education Act is very clear, and under Section 64 and 66, that there shall be established a quality assurance, assurance standard, Education and Quality Assurance Standard, ESCAC, and its mandate is to generate such reports. I'm challenging the minister. Bring us that report. We respect the report of the Quality Assurance and Standard. Those are reports that are blown out of proportions for interest of other parties. And ironically, the ministry...
Your union is not interested about quality.
No, we are very much interested about quality. Extremely interested. And we want the right organs to enforce the same, to enforce the standards. And I want to make it very clear, we don't encourage teachers to cane students. We've warned them. And be absent. Just comply with the law. We don't encourage teachers to be absent. Be in school and teach, and be the best teachers. Deliver knowledge the best you can. But we don't have the instruments to supervise. Over time, we have assisted government to develop acceptable legal framework to do this, including education and quality assurance standard. Mutege, let us ask a simple question. What is the quality assurance department of the ministry doing? How many reports have they generated? If such a report comes out from an NGO, they should move and carry out a similar survey and give us a report. And therefore, we will be comparing a legally acceptable report with other studies carried out by voluntary organizations, so that we can get down to the truth. And even if it were true, who is responsible for this? It is the minister's Department of Quality Assurance and Standard. So that alone, even if it were true, tells you that the ministry has failed in implementing, in performing its duties of ensuring enforcement of standards.
Now that you have written a letter to him, and he has not responded, and we are going to thank him. I think decisions are going to be implemented this year?
When a letter is written, it's not written for fun. It is written for understanding and action. Teachers are leaving for studies on the 6th of August. Let the minister know that. There will be no teachers after 6th of August in our schools. And these are matters. While writing to the minister, I shall be reporting to my organs as well. That I will do it. It's within law. That's my duty. And that's the duty of the union. So that nobody can blame us in future. But universities have organized their programs from the 6th of August. Universities within the country and out of the country. And there ought to be a middle ground of reorganizing what the minister has done. We have supported quite a number of reform measures that he has undertaken. Disbanding the NEC, auditing the NEC staff, that we support, and allowing head teachers to be center organizers, that we support. But we have raised reservation on certain key areas. So if we have supported the minister in quite a number of areas, he ought to listen to the other side.
But you know, the problem with your union, you all the time you issue strike threats.
No, we are not issuing threats.
It becomes boring. I mean,
we're not even parents are complaining. Parents want to be in schools in third term. In fact, this one, we are in agreement with the parents. Parents are raising their issues. They want to be in schools in third term. The churches are insisting they must be in schools in third term. We are also saying we need our 3 weeks. Are we asking too much? And we have not issued any strike threat. We are only simply saying those teachers who are listed to undertake their programs from 6th of August will proceed for their studies. That's what we are saying. So there's nothing, we don't issue threats for the sake of threats, and when we do it, we do it. And we will do it. We've done it in the past, and we do it with reasons. We don't do it from nowhere. We have justification for doing anything. So really, that should not be taken with a very great pinch of salt when we are raising facts. The issue here, we are telling the minister, can you listen to other voices and let us. You see, dialogue is continuous. Indeed, it's very continuous, and therefore we can still get down and address the specific matters and get moving without any noise.
On a different subject, the retired teachers who are supposed to have been paid and the courts of violation be paid. I've read in the papers today the Attorney General asking the retired teachers to give their documents. What is the issue with this matter now? It's been outstanding for
it is years. Mischievous. How would you ask documents from teachers who have died? Some have died. How would you ask documents from the teachers who submitted documents when they retired? It's not legal for teachers who submitted documents to go back again. Do they still have those documents? In the first place, the documents and their records are with Teacher Service Commission. So the Attorney General should go to the employer and retrieve the documents. And this is a matter that we had trashed with the Minister for Finance and the Attorney General and the Director of Pension sometimes in 2011. And Teacher Service Commission submitted documents. So this position and the statement by the Attorney General is another mischievous and clever way of evading paying these teachers. Pay these teachers with the documents that they have. The documents are with TSC. Every teacher, when exiting service, must exit procedurally and must submit certain documents, all the documents, and fill a retirement form and submit it to the Teacher Service Commission. That the teachers did it. Which other documents are they asking for? And this is a government legal advice. You're asking teachers to submit documents against non-existing legal submission format that has been approved. They did it when they retired. So proceed, avail money and pay them. You know their accounts and you know the benefits of each and every teacher. Pay them.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sossion, and I hope that the Minister and the government is hearing you. so that there probably will not be any other reason for any strike. Thank you.